morning. I just want to say very briefly that the General Assembly has taken another very significant decision this morning to suspend the Russian Federation from the Human Rights Council. 93 votes in favor. I have to be very open with you and say that that exceeded our expectations, because we know that Russia has been engaged in a pretty strong campaign against this vote. With all that going on, I think it's a very significant outcome. This is a clear message to the Russian Federation that accountability clock is ticking, that violations of the international law and human rights law, you pay a price, that there is a preventive message here as well, that if this continues, there will be further measures down the line. And also I think it's a very significant decision in terms of the credibility of the United Nations and its bodies, because the Human Rights Council, having a membership of countries that violate the human rights law like Russia is doing right now would be a disaster also for the credibility of the United Nations. So I just want to say that is also our message today, that accountability will be there one day to those responsible for the violations of human rights that goes on in Ukraine by the Russian Federation. Thank you very much.
Ambassador, what's your reaction to the number of extensions and against? It's quite a few, a bit more than last time, and also will this result in...
You have to understand that the United Nations is made up of countries. Some of them have a troublesome record on human rights. So when it comes to this kind of decisions, very operational about suspension from the Human Rights Council, some countries will be concerned about that. As I said, Russia has launched a very aggressive campaign against this vote today. That has also affected, I think, some countries' decisions. Some countries still feel that they are far away from this conflict. They prefer not to take sides. So with that, all that adding up, I think it's a very impressive number that have spoken up today. And it just, to me, shows that Russia continues to be very isolated in their actions in Ukraine.
Will this result in further polarization of the human rights file?
Further polarization? Well, if there's any polarization, it's Russia who is doing it. So I think, as I said before, the credibility of this organization also depends on the ability to respond to violations like this. And I think we've been successful up to now to counter the fact that Russia has a veto in the Security Council by moving those dossiers to the General Assembly, where there has been a very strong expression of isolation against Russia again today. Thank you very much.